At the City and County of Broomfield, we offer lifeguard training on an ongoing basis year-round. It's incredibly important for us to have a well-trained lifeguard working for the City and County of Broomfield, mainly because we want to make sure that they have all of the essential skills to be able to respond to emergencies accordingly.
Basically, it's just training new people that want to be lifeguards for the summer, teaching them how to recognize signs for any drowning victims or any possible emergencies, training them in first aid, CPR, wanting to make sure that they're meeting the requirements, just making sure that the pools are safe.
So this is the brick test. It's a 10-pound brick. We throw it down into the deep end. They have to swim down and bring it back in under 1 minute and 40 seconds. We have to do this with them before we can allow them to take and be certified in the class. More or less is the equivalent of pulling somebody up off of the deep end while keeping their spine in line. Set, go! I try and scare them a little bit by telling them, this is something that they have to pass. They have to be able to do this or I can't let them take the course. They can't even come to the rest of the classes if they can't finish this by the end of the first day. Go! Even though it's only 10 pounds, it doesn't seem like a lot in comparison to how much most people weigh, but the fact of it is that it just gives you so much more density. Almost there, you got time, you got time. I don't think it's as hard as it sounds, as hard as it really seems, but once you get in there and the adrenaline starts flowing, I think people generally tend to do pretty well at it. Push it out, you got like 5 feet. Both hands, keep both hands on it, almost. There you go, prop it up. Just so you guys know, we're gonna be covering a lot of material every day in class. What are things that you guys need to decide? Because there's gonna be a lot of situations, especially like when your job really comes into play, that you're gonna need to make a choice on the fly. When you run into adults at the pool, a lot of the times you just have to convey yourself as someone who's professional, mature, and knows what they're doing. We start out in the classroom every day. Everything that we're doing in the water is something that we've already seen in the classroom. We've watched videos on it, we've demonstrated it, we've explained it and answered questions. So this is their chance to get some hands-on practice with it.
Rotations, it's always simple. We have a certain time limit on certain stations around the pool. We do about 20 minutes here, and after about 20 minutes, people start to get a little bored and they start to lose focus of the pool.
Say, okay, so he's got this, so I'm gonna come down off of the stand. I'm gonna come stand next to him. I got it. All right, so at no point was there anybody that wasn't watching the water.
So we always do a rotation. So one person comes up, tells them, all right, I'm watching the water, you can step down, and then the other person will step down, go to the other side of the guard's chair, and say, all right, I'm watching the water, and then they'll step away, and they'll go rotate to the next station. We just want someone always watching the water, because, within 12 seconds, we can have someone drowning.
The shepherd's crook can be used in a couple of different situations. We're gonna show you what you would do if Dylan here, if he's an active drowning or a distressed swimmer. Send this out to him. I'm gonna lower my center of gravity, and then I'm just gonna pull him in, all right? Up under the armpit, crook it around, and bring him in. So, any questions there? All right, and when you throw this to somebody, you don't throw it at them, you throw it over them and you bring it to them. Make sense? So I were to throw it to Dylan here. I bring it in, he's gonna grab the rope. This isn't horseshoes. You don't try and land it over their head. You don't tell them to stick up their arms.
Why is this important? Just in case there's no other life-saving equipment around or rescue equipment around, they can use this as a necessary skill rather than having to jump in and try to put themselves at risk.
Go! So today we're going to be practicing basic rescues, ranging from a distressed swimmer down to like a passive drowning victim at the deep end of the pool underwater.
Grab your left arm to their left or their right to their right and pull.
We're just going to be practicing techniques that are simple, efficient, and safe, not only for the person that's drowning, but also for the lifeguards. We're going to be practicing everything that they've learned up until now, so safe entries in the water, safe approaches. We're going to be learning how to escape a person, just making sure that they're ready to handle any situation that they could come across.
And they're doing passive submerged victim rescue, so if they're unconscious at the bottom of the deep end. Dylan's passive on the bottom of the pool. So we do a feet first surface dive like this, right? You put one arm around the victim. You grab the line with the other hand and you climb up the line until you get to here. And once you get to here, the end of your line, you stick it in between you and the victim. And that should be about the time that you come up.
The most difficult part of this especially is because they have to be able to take the tube, jam it like 6, even 7 inches underwater and stick it under a person. It takes a bit of doing. They're doing pretty well.
you've got them up on the surface of the water. You've got the tube under them. How are you going to get them out? Backboard. Using the backboards. Dylan's going to take them left to left, right to right. Sinks the board up against the wall. They roll Shane over onto it. They switch hands so that each one's got an arm and each one's got the corner of the backboard. They're going to count to 3 and lift them. 1, 2, 3. Once you have the unconscious victim up to the surface of the water, their head's out, you need to get them out of the water as quickly as possible, and the backboard's the easiest way to get them out.
It's not too bad. It's just getting the board in the water. Sometimes it slips up and bobs back up and you have to try again. But other than that, it's not too challenging.
It feels good. It feels like we're actually in the hang of it.
You have to work well with your team and communicate in order for it to work the way that it should.
Why do I love this job? I think maybe part of it is that I like to feel like I'm there to do good. I love the people I work with. I like to have fun with it. I love getting to teach people.
Yes, this is a job, but at the same time, it's the most important thing that you can do as a teenager. On top of it being this fun little job out in the sun, I mean, you're guarding people's lives.
It's a good environment to be in, gives you that extra responsibility, having all these people's lives in your hands, you know. It's your job to guard their lives.
When I grow up, I kind of want to be in the medical field, so I think this would be a good start for me. I kind of want to save people's lives.
So I really want to help people. I like being around kids and making sure that nobody's drowning and doing my part for my community center.
I think a lot of it when I first got into lifeguarding was there's this kind of aspect of keeping people safe. And as far as teaching, even just something as simple as swimming, because it really can be a life-saving skill. So just kind of giving back to the community.
The primary reason why our youth want to become lifeguards is a fantastic job that they can get when they are in high school, when they turn 15 years old. It's a job that they can hold all the way through high school and into college. Lifeguards really have this innate ability to reach out to people and to help people. There's just something in them that makes them feel really good about helping people and watching them learn how to swim and making sure that they're safe in the water. And there's just something when you make your first rescue as a lifeguard, it makes you feel so good about yourself that you did something important and that really makes a difference in the community.